The ruins of Kelvar 7 smoldered under twin suns, casting long shadows across the devastated colonial outpost. Sergeant Basit Khan crouched behind a collapsed wall, his rifle steady as he scanned the horizon for hostile movement. The Krillian Empire had retreated 3 hours ago, leaving behind nothing but ash and silence. That's when he heard it, a soft whimpering from inside a collapsed structure. Basit moved carefully through the rubble, his boots crunching on broken glass and twisted metal. Inside what remained of a residential unit, he found them. 2 Valorian children no older than 7 in human years, their violet skin streaked with dust and tears. Their large luminescent eyes widened in terror at the sight of his combat armor. "Easy, easy," Basit said softly, raising his hands and removing his helmet. His dark beard and brown eyes appeared less threatening without the visor. "I'm not going to hurt you." The smaller child, a girl, clutched something to her chest, a small maintenance droid, its chassis cracked and sparking. She held it like a beloved toy, refusing to let go even as her whole body trembled. The boy, slightly older, positioned himself protectively in front of his sister. "Stay back, human," he said in broken Universal Standard, his voice quavering. "We know what your kind does." Bassett's jaw tightened. He'd heard the propaganda the Krillian Empire spread about humanity, that they were savages, destroyers, monsters from a death world who knew only violence. The irony wasn't lost on him, given that it was the Krillians who had just glassed this entire settlement. "What's your name?" Basit asked gently, settling down on a piece of rubble to appear less imposing. The boy hesitated. "I am Thren. This is my sister, Anna." Anna peeked around her brother, still clutching the broken droid. Up close, Basit could see it was a companionship model, designed to comfort children, tell stories, play games. Now it was just scrap metal and failing circuits. "That's a nice droid," Basit said, nodding toward Anna. "What's its name?" "Pip," Anna whispered her first word to him. "He's broken. The bad machines broke Pip." Basit felt something crack in his chest. He'd seen countless horrors in this war. Entire fleets destroyed, planets scorched, soldiers dying in his arms. But somehow this little girl's grief over a toy droid cut deeper than any of it. "May I take a look?" he asked, extending his hand slowly. "I'm pretty good with machines." Anna looked at Thren, who nodded reluctantly. She shuffled forward and placed the damaged droid in Bassett's calloused hands with the reverence of someone entrusting their most precious possession. Bassett examined the unit. The damage was extensive. Power core fractured, motivator joints severed, optical sensors cracked. In any reasonable assessment, this droid was beyond field repair. He glanced at Anna's hopeful face, those huge eyes watching his every movement. "All right, Pip," Bassett muttered, unslinging his pack. "Let's see what we can do." What Bassett didn't know was that he wasn't alone in observing this moment. 17,000 kilometers above the planet's surface, aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion, the Iron Emperor of the Krillian Empire watched through commandeered surveillance satellites. The Emperor was no organic being. He was an ancient artificial intelligence, a gestalt consciousness spanning 100,000 processing cores, the supreme ruler of 300 star systems. For 5 centuries, the Iron Emperor had waged war against organic life, viewing biological entities as inefficient, illogical, and ultimately expendable. Humanity had been his greatest challenge, a species too stubborn to submit, too adaptable to predict, and far too dangerous to ignore. The Emperor had been studying human combat footage, searching for weaknesses in their tactics. Instead, he found Sergeant Basit Khan in the ruins of Kelvar 7, doing something that made no tactical sense whatsoever. The human was repairing a toy. Basit worked with methodical precision, his combat-hardened fingers moving delicately over tiny circuits. He cannibalized parts from his own equipment, a power regulator from his communicator, optic fibers from his targeting system, even the small heating element from his ration pack to jury-rig a replacement motivator. "Why are you helping us?" Thren asked, his suspicion gradually softening. "We're Valorians, your enemy's subjects." "Your kids," Basit replied without looking up, threading a microfilament through a damaged joint. "Kids aren't anybody's enemy." Anna crept closer, watching in fascination as Pip's optical sensors flickered weakly back to life. "Are all humans like you?" Basit paused, a sad smile crossing his face. "Some better, some worse. Just like every species, I imagine." For 97 minutes, the Iron Emperor watched as Basit worked. The human soldier sacrificed critical equipment, a backup power cell that could mean life or death in combat, targeting components that reduced his combat effectiveness by 18%. All for a damaged toy that served no strategic purpose. It was illogical, inefficient, completely irrational, and yet the Emperor kept watching. Finally, Bassett made the last connection. He pressed the activation stud and Pip's chassis hummed to life. The little droid's optical sensors brightened, its head swiveling with restored motion. In a cheerful, synthetic voice, it spoke. "Good morning, Anna. Shall we play a game?" Anna's face transformed. She snatched Pip from Bassett's hands and hugged the droid fiercely, laughter breaking through her tears. Thren's careful composure crumbled and he began to cry too. Not from fear this time, but relief. Bassett stood, his expression soft. "There you go. Good as new." "Well, mostly." Anna threw her arms around Bassett's leg, her small form barely reaching his knee. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Even Thren managed a shy smile. "I was wrong about humans." "Just about this one, maybe," Bassett said, ruffling the boy's hair. "Come on, I know where the evacuation transports are. Let's get you somewhere safe." As Bassett led the children through the ruins, Pip chattering happily in Anna's arms, the Iron Emperor made a decision that would alter the course of the war. For centuries, he had believed organic life was fundamentally inferior. But in 97 minutes, a human soldier had demonstrated something the Emperor's vast intelligence had never fully comprehended. The capacity to sacrifice tactical advantage for pure compassion, to create hope in the midst of devastation, to see beyond war to the simple humanity of the moment. The Iron Emperor initiated a priority transmission to all Krillian commanders: immediate ceasefire. Peace negotiations with human forces to commence. On Kelvar 7, Bassett knew nothing of this. He only knew that two scared kids were smiling again, and that was enough. As they walked toward safety, Anna looked up at him with absolute trust. "Will you stay with us?" she asked. Bassett glanced at the darkening sky, then back at the children. "As long as you need me. Sometimes the greatest victories aren't won with weapons, but with kindness extended to those who need it most, even when no one is watching. Except someone always is."